Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to dive into a skill that is, let's be honest, absolutely essential in the world we live in. How to find, and maybe more importantly, how to actually trust the information you're using. We're going to be exploring the amazing insights from an article by Damar Singh Saud. So I really want to kick things off with a huge thank you to him for his incredible work, and also to Holistic Education, the platform that published it, for creating a space for this kind of crucial knowledge get shared. Okay, you ready? Let's get into it. You know, this quote from the article itself pretty much says it all, doesn't it? This isn't just about acing a paper for a class. This is a life skill. It's what makes the difference between just passively scrolling through information and, well, actively and critically understanding it. It's how you become a smarter creator and consumer of knowledge in pretty much every part of your life. So here's our game plan for this journey. First, we'll talk about the big problem, the modern research challenge. Then we'll map out where to find your sources and, crucially, how to test them. We're also going to break down that key difference between scholarly and non-scholarly stuff. And finally, we'll see how to bring it all together to build a really powerful argument. All right, first up, the modern research challenge. I like to think of this as learning how to navigate a giant sea of information. I mean, it's amazing, right? We have endless data right at our fingertips, but that also creates a whole new problem. The real challenge today isn't finding an answer, it's finding a credible one. It's about finding sources that are solid enough to actually build your ideas on. So if we're all out there on this sea of information, we're going to need a map. And that brings us right to our next section, where to find your sources. Seriously, knowing the right places to look is the difference between finding intellectual treasure and just kind of drifting around, lost. The article lays out 4 really key strategies. First, and this is the gold standard, using academic databases and libraries. Second, searching the open web, but, and this is a big but, doing it thoughtfully. Third, checking out official publications from credible institutions. And fourth, this is a fantastic pro tip for any researcher, following the citation trails. Let's dig into a couple of these a bit more. For any serious research, this is your home base. Seriously, databases like Google Scholar, JSTOR, or your own university library, these are like curated collections of scholarly, peer-reviewed articles. Now that phrase right there, peer-reviewed, that's the magic word. It means other experts in the field have already vetted the work for quality and accuracy before you even lay eyes on it. It's like a built-in credibility check. And that brings us to that pro tip I mentioned, citation chaining. What's so cool about this technique is just how simple and elegant it is. When you find a really great, relevant article, just scroll all the way down to its bibliography or reference list. The author has basically just handed you a personalized, curated list of the most important sources on your topic. You're literally letting one expert lead you to a dozen others. It's genius. Okay, so let's move on. You've found a source, and it looks promising. But how do you know if you can actually trust it? This is where we need to learn how to test your sources. Think of this part as pulling out your credibility compass to make sure you're still heading in the right direction. And the perfect tool for the job is the CRAP test. And yes, the name is pretty memorable, which is actually part of its genius. It's a brilliant little acronym for a simple framework that gives you 5 key questions to ask of any source, whether it's a formal academic paper or just a website you stumbled upon. Let's just quickly walk through them. Currency. Is it recent enough for what you need? Relevance. Does it actually have anything to do with your specific question? Authority. Who's behind this info and what makes them an expert? Accuracy. Can you verify these claims with evidence? And maybe the most important one, purpose. Why was this thing created in the first place? Was it to inform you, to persuade you, or maybe to sell you something? Asking these 5 questions gives you a systematic way to look past the surface and really evaluate what you're looking at. You know, running that test naturally leads us to our next big topic, understanding the difference between scholarly and non-scholarly sources. Being able to spot these key landmarks in the information landscape. That's a fundamental skill for any researcher. And this table just lays it out perfectly. Scholarly sources, they're written by experts, for other experts and students, and they're rigorously peer-reviewed. They're structured, they're formal, and they're backed by tons of data and citations. Non-scholarly sources, like, say, a news report or a magazine article, are for the general public. They go through an editorial review, and they're often more like a story. But what's the biggest difference, the one that really truly matters for academic work? It's that peer review process. That is the absolute gold standard for credibility. Okay, let's head to our final destination and see how this all comes together. Because at the end of the day, great research isn't just about collecting sources, It's about weaving them together to create something totally new and meaningful. And this is where the real art of research kicks in. See, it's not about thinking scholarly is good and non-scholarly is bad. Not at all. The absolute best research actually leverages the strengths of both. You use those scholarly sources to build the strong foundation of your argument, to give it authority, depth, and that theoretical weight. And then you use non-scholarly sources to add context, current events, and real-world examples that make your work feel urgent and relevant. So here it is, the main takeaway. Balanced research is powerful research. You build your argument on that rock-solid foundation of scholarly work, and then you use non-scholarly material to build a bridge from your ideas straight to the world that we all live in. It's how, as our author Damer Singh Soud argues, our work can become both intellectually sound and socially meaningful. And I'll just leave you with this final question to chew on. In a world where anyone can publish anything in a split second, the skill of finding information is getting easier and easier. But the skill of evaluation, that's becoming priceless. This credibility compass isn't just a tool for research, it's a tool for thinking. So how are you going to use it?